All right, out there listening here on Chasing Birdies, we're joined today by a golf meme mecca, or expert, I should say, social media gem, officially Sonny. You might have seen him on Instagram or YouTube, and Sonny Kollet is joining us here on Chasing Birdies. My man, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me and pronouncing the last name correctly. That's pretty impressive.
Did I?
Got a lot of Kollets out there. Yeah, you did. It's nice.
Okay, I was thinking of Colby Collet,
Yeah,
and so
it's
that's
exactly.
kind of where I drew that influence from, man.
There you go, Bash.
Thanks for
Way to
having me,
do a little
guys.
homework, bud.
Yeah, not bad.
Can I
Well, I have to
say?
say, I'm really excited for this one because I can't tell you. I mean, maybe I've sent your video about 10, 12 times to different people.
Hmm.
And we see you all across our search, which is hysterical. And for those of you that are not watching it on YouTube, he has the background too. So
I
this is
do.
like official.
It is. And most people don't know it's literally just outside me here. It's not a full wall. What you can't see is not greens. But nobody has to know that.
Nobody.
No, you are. You know what? It's kind of funny. You're probably one of the only guests that we've had that has this type of background. You're already set up because this is what you do.
Right.
So this was
Stays on
not,
the wall.
yeah, yeah. And do you have a podcast?
We used to have a podcast. We ran it for about 2 years, and it was just like constant trouble of trying to. We even at one point toward the end, we rented an office and we had cameras, but we had
Hmm.
GoPros, and like we didn't know. I don't know, like editing. I use my phone for everything. So once I get into like Final Cut, it's a nightmare, and it was just too tough to get quality clips. Whoever the people who do it, congrats to them because it's really tough to put out good quality sound and video.
Well, you ain't lying.
We have good quality
You ain't
sounds. The
lying.
Right.
video is not very good from our side of it. It's good whenever we do it in a professional setting and we have a camera crew and all that. Our sound is really, I think our sound's really good, but
Well, you sound good, like
oh,
generally speaking, bud.
thanks.
You know.
It's a voice for the radio.
Well, I don't know about that, but close.
Face
Close.
for the radio, I think they say.
Definitely. Look at him. He's got a cigar going. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. Breakfast cigars, he calls them.
I actually just asked someone that recently. What time do they start smoking cigars, like on the golf course? Are you, if you have like an 8 a.m. tea time, are you smoking a cigar?
It's on the putting green. I'm like,
7 o'clock.
so this is like we'll get into this, but I have a video idea for you with cigars and
Okay.
so let's just get into a little bit about you, Sonny, because your videos are hysterical and they're
Thank you.
all on point. I mean, they're well thought out. It's like our buddy who introduced us, Taylor, who we've had on the podcast previously. Like people don't realize how much work goes into these kind of things, and but every time you hit the nail on the head,
Thank you.
and so it's or the head on the nail, whatever you want to do.
Thank you, guys.
But they are hysterical. And like I said, I've sent numerous videos of yours. And so where does all this inspiration, what do you do for a living outside of this?
Yeah, so now this is my full-time gig. So I've
No
been
shit.
fortunate enough to make this
That's
full-time.
awesome.
I have a meme page, the golf meme page called Group Chat Golf, and that's where it all started for me like 5 years ago. And so when you tell me that you send it to your friends, that's exactly what that's been number one for me forever is if you're, every time I put something out, I say is, would I send this to my friend? And that's how I want my content to be shared. But I grew up, I started golfing when I was 13. I started working at golf courses when I was 15 so I can play for free. I went to college for professional
Genius.
golf management. Yeah, I've been trying to go the free golf route my whole life, pretty
I
much.
do that pretty good still.
And then I went to college for a few years for professional golf management, got an assistant pro job, did that for 3 years. And then I kind of just like lost my love for the game doing
Hmm.
that. And I just couldn't wait to get out. Stopped working that job. I actually owned a dry cleaners and a tailor shop for a while, which was my family business where I got into it and I was like, maybe this is it for me. Took a few years off golf. And then right before COVID, I started making memes, golf memes. And then within a year, I had 100,000 followers on that page. And within a couple of years, I sold business and got out of there and started doing this. And then these videos, I started posting them last March. I think I had 2,000 followers last March on this page, and then it just skyrocketed. I just posted every day. But I know golf from every job that you can have, every score that you can shoot between. I think my lowest score is 67, and my highest is over 100. So I've been everywhere. I've been bad, I've been good. I've gone back to back tournament days where I shot 95 and 72. Like I just I've seen it all. I've felt it all, and I keep taking chances. Honestly, the biggest thing is like, for instance, I hate using the bag drop. It was one of my videos.
which is hysterical.
Right. And I was like, I don't really know if many people feel that way when they pull into a golf course, but that's the kind of thing like that I want to be the person to point that out. So if I can bring things to light and make you say, "Oh shit, I thought I was the only person that felt that way." That's my goal with every post.
You are spot on because everything is relatable.
Exactly.
It's just you're doing it and you're making it, kind of, but you're bringing it to life because it's realistic. Like how many times you wait to go for 2 in a par 5 and
Right.
you get nowhere close,
get
you
nowhere.
fuck up, you roll it.
Right. Every
It
time you
happens
wait
all
for
the
that
time.
green to clear and you top it, or it's
so
clockwork.
funny,
It
man.
happens every time. I know, and you watch it and you hear people talk about it, and it's just I guess it's my job now to just remind people that we're all the same. So, and I'm cool with that.
That's really cool, though. I mean, like having a golf background, that helps you bring these videos to light. Like what you're saying, I mean, you've experienced working behind the desk, you've experienced picking the range and picking bags, so that helps all these videos gain traction, and you can
Right.
relate to it. It's hilarious. I mean,
Right.
it
I
is
think
hysterical.
it helps me having so much. Like I know a lot of people, even content creators, or a lot of people our age are new to golf, right? So they've only been playing since like after college for the most part. It's tougher to little things like the things to say, the words that we use, like just using those in the correct sense, or like I like to use the word the nuances. The nuances I've known since I was 15, but everybody else is just now learning those. So while it's been like a staple in my life, all these feelings and all these moments in golf, a lot of people are just feeling those for the first time, and getting to know like, oh, I'm not the only one that feels that. So picking out those little nuanced things and just hoping that more people than me feel that way is.
So the bag drop thing's hysterical because we went to one of our best friends. It was kind of like I guess it was his interview into the new club that he was potentially going to join. And Ryan is a member at what just came out today, the 3 of the top 5 golf courses in West Virginia. So he's an
Nice.
experienced person going to these nice places. We show up at this place that will remain unnamed, and guy starts changing his shoes in the parking lot. Ryan. And the guy comes over. Did he come over, the guy, or did Brandon kind of like, hey, dude, you can't change your shoes in the parking lot? Like, this is a really nice place.
Yeah, I already did it. And then I asked the guy after I did it if I could do it. And that's when he said no.
Crazy
You
rule,
do not.
isn't it?
Yeah,
He
and
said
I
no.
already
He
did
said,
it.
can I do it?
But yeah, because, there's some, I don't know.
There's some rules that are crazy like that. The shoes in the parking lot. I don't understand that rule.
Yeah.
Or
Doesn't
why.
that one doesn't really make sense. I guess they don't want you walking through stuff in your shoes, but I think it's weird. But I guess I always say there is a place for those kinds of courses too. Everyone's kind of getting a little more laid back now. Some are holding on to the old guard, and it's always going to be that way.
I think people, especially at like munis, when they change their shoes in the parking lot, it's a place for them to clean their shoes too. They smack them together. You hear it fucking echoing everywhere, and then there's just a pile of leaves and grass on the concrete. And at a place that has Ferraris and Bentleys parked left and right, it's probably not the right place to do it.
That is true.
I just experienced this about a week and a half ago, 2 opposite ends of the world. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, actually the week of the Waste Management.
Yeah.
I was there earlier in the week. We'll get into that with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I played Whisper Rock on Friday before Waste Management, and I'm like, man, like, you're following the rules. You're changing your shoes at the locker, and no smoking. You smoke outside. You do all this stuff. You drop the bag off the bag drop. Next day, I played at the Biltmore golf course, and I mean, I could have worn gym shorts and a tank top and been completely fine. And it was like, I literally said something to someone. I'm like, we went from Whisper Rock to this. You talk about getting a dose of reality.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what happens when you're privileged like you, bud?
all right.
It is fun seeing those places, though. Seeing the two sides of golf and everything in between. There's just the spectrum is so wide, and it's crazy because it wasn't like that when I started playing. I mean, I've been playing. I'm 35, so 23 years I've been playing. When I was 13, 14, like it was tucked in, belt, pants, like it was hat off when you get inside at a country club, and now it's and there still is that, which there is always going to be a place for that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's not
for
my
sure.
personal like preference. I like a more laid back style, but I've also played that style of golf for so long that it's like I was ready for something new.
Right. it's like you go to your Wingfoot's. When you're at Wingfoot, you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'll respect this. This is
Yes.
cool. But then you also go to a Discovery property and you can wear your hat backwards, t-shirt, gym
Right.
shorts,
I
and
like to pop my shoes off at a twilight round, and you can't do
just
that
chill.
everywhere. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm good with both. Like we have this conversation all the time. I'm good with both.
Mhm.
Those top tier clubs are never going to change. Your Oakmonts, your Wingfoots, your Baltusarols, all those,
Yeah.
they're never going to change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you know what you're getting at those places too. I don't mind dressing up, wearing my good clothes and getting all tucked in to go play a really nice course. And when you're playing a place like a dog track with crappy greens, like a little muni at night, like that's when you want to just wear, gym shorts and a t-shirt and backwards hat and no shoes. And it works out nice. You get both sides.
Yeah, totally. Unless you're at Troubadour, because you could do that all day, every day.
every day.
Right?
Hey, the background you got, which is pretty, that's like iconic
Yep.
at this point for you.
It's crazy.
It's the green background. Is that AstroTurf, or do you got to cut that down? If you put it down, could you putt on it?
No, it wouldn't be. It's like AstroTurf. I think I got it at Home Depot or Ocean State Job Lot or something. They just sold. I think there was a big roll for $20, and we had it up in our office at the time. And when we moved out of our office, which was before I started making these videos, I just took a piece with me to keep.
I like
And
it.
then, thank you. Yeah, I cut a piece. It's funny. I'm in an actual like room now, but before when I first started, it was in my basement. If I took a picture of where I used to do these with the chair in front of the green thing, you would think it's a place where somebody's doing like a hostage video. It was pretty dark down there and scary. And then I used to use the flash on my phone, and the way that it was dark plus the flash on my phone, my pupils used to be huge. So for my first like 30 videos, if you read the comments, you're like, "What is this guy on?" And it's like, dude, it's a lighting thing, I swear.
Shit, that's funny.
So do you get a lot of your inspiration? I know that you've lived it and you can think those things up, but do you ever take things from people that are sending like, hey, do this one
Yep,
or whatever?
definitely. I mean, I've gotten some great ideas from people. I just actually asked on my story yesterday. I was like, if anybody has ideas, and I probably got 200 people that had an idea. So I'll definitely start running through those. And then, I've been sprinkling in some different, like I went from the "Hi, my name's Sonny" to started doing some like "He's a good guy," but it's just like a little different. You find different ways to deliver the same ideas for the most part.
The putting one. I have a friend doesn't put anything out. Like, yeah, we've got those. So
It's funny because the putting out thing, one of my best friends, Chubba, he is new to golf, and he was like, "Why do people do this gimme thing? Like, if it's not in the hole, why do they?" And I was like, "You know what? You're right." So since then, I've actually become a better golfer because he makes me putt everything out. And putting everything out, then my handicap's legit. And when you go play in a match with a legit handicap with people, you win matches. So it's one of the best thing that's ever happened to my game because my whole life it's like, you're 2 feet away, 1 foot away, you're grabbing it, you're
spigot.
picking it up. Yeah, that's good. But with him, he makes you grind all day and it's stressful and it sucked at first, but now I feel like a
Pays
better
off.
player because of that.
Yeah. I mean, look, if someone gets to the 4-yard line, you just going to give them a touchdown?
That's exactly
No.
what he says. Yeah, exactly. You
No.
can't just get close enough. You got to put it in.
Tush
So I
pusher.
respected that from somebody who's new to the game to come out and say that and not just be like, yeah, I want that gimme, but like, no, I want to put that in the hole. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It does drive me nuts, though, because when I play golf, I actually, every time I'm playing, I'm trying to play my best, trying to shoot the best or whatever. But oftentimes I'll be playing with some people, and they just don't have that mindset. And it always comes down to that putting thing where it's like they just hurry up, they have an 8-footer, and they just hit it, and then it goes 2 feet by, and they just scoop it. And I've been the total opposite. I'm like, man, you gotta freaking make that shit.
That is one thing about this guy. He putts even if you're like, hey, dude, it's good, he'll still putt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I look like I just joined a country club last year for the first time, and I was like, I like watching people pick up their balls because I know when it comes tournament time, like I want to go up against those guys because their handicaps aren't legit. And I'm a 1.5. I could easily say like if you watch me play, I look like better than that, and people will be like, oh, one, like blah blah. But I put everything out, so my one's legit. So all the guys at the club who are zeros and ones, like I look at them and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I got them.
So we have an event, and actually, we'll send you information. Where are you based out of?
Rhode Island.
Love it.
Yeah.
What part?
I live in Providence.
Yeah. So Providence Diamonds, I sell to them.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's a big. It used to be a big jewelry spot in Providence. Yeah.
That's my real life. We're doing it. We always do a 2-man Chasing Birdie's 2-man, and what we do is we do a blind draw, so you can't come pre-arranged marriages. Blind draw A player with B player, 80% handicap. I think last year we had a max of 13 handicap. Well, 40 guys. That's pretty good.
That is awesome.
And then we do gross or best ball each day, low team each day gets $1,000. And then I think last year John Barry, who played in the NBA, he won both low rounds and overall with him and his partner. They each took home like $7,000.
Shit.
So it
That's
was
fun.
it was a
Yeah,
good
that's
time.
fun.
But we make the number one rule is one ball out of your two has to go in the
On the
hole.
hole. Yep.
So
Yep.
Gotta
It's a
hit
good
it.
rule. Definitely. That's
Yeah,
what it's all about.
So, with respect to golf in general, are you guys, both of you, I'm asking you both this question because I'm curious on your thoughts, but are you seeing some type of shift within McIlroy relative to Live Golf and PGA Tour right now going on? I mean, I saw something that he said that if it wasn't for Live, we wouldn't be playing for $20 million this year, or this tournament, I should say. So I'm just curious, like, what's really going on?
I think they need Bryson more than anything in the world. So, I mean, Rory being the front man for the PGA, I think he has to say that because Bryson's he's the most popular golfer in the world, and it's only the difference between him and the next person is only getting bigger. Nobody's even coming close to him as far as content and, the amount people see him and like him even. Which is funny because 4 years ago, 5 years ago, everyone was like, Bryson's a nerd. I hate this guy, science guy, like, but it's really he's turned, and the fact that there's talks of the PGA Tour, the PIF being a part of it and all that stuff. I think you have to kind of take Rory's stance now. You can't be firm against it if that money's going to be getting funneled into the PGA at some point. So I think he had to take a step back from being the no, screw those guys, they're not coming back. Because I think they'll be back in the future. So you'd hate to be the guy that's still saying,
yeah.
you know.
Well, you see the transition is slowly happening. Now the majors are all kind of letting it happen. You can qualify if you're in the Live. The Ryder Cup now, you can qualify if you're on the Live. It's a slow transition. I can sit here and tell you I can't name more than 10 players. You were at Waste Management last week.
Mm-hmm.
I can maybe name 10 players that were in the Waste Management Open and know that they were in that field.
Right.
Live has all the guys, man. They just don't have the TV deal, whatever it is, to get it out there. I think that's what they're missing, and the PGA Tour is really missing these names because it is not very exciting on the PGA Tour right now.
Right, I know, because even with just the names, that's the allure, right? So even when before Live, you still want to see Phil Mickelson's name in a field. It doesn't matter if he's not going to play well. You still want to see those guys. So yeah, I think they're definitely hurting. I mean, it's watered down the game for sure, and I know people have been saying that. But my thing is, at the end of the day, I think golf is so big right now, but I still think it's a small percentage of golfers that actually watch golf. I think most people just like to play. It's a fun game to play, and sitting down on a Sunday for 7 or 8 hours to catch the last, for a whole tournament it's a long day.
It's a good day to take a nap.
Right, exactly. Or play golf and then take a nap.
I fall asleep to golf all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but especially the Champions Tour. But on a Sunday though, especially in a good tournament, I mean, I tune in. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm a big majors on Sundays guy, or when there's a big name on top. But even now, recently, it's like I don't even know the top 15 guys are in a lot of these. So it's like,
yeah,
I can tell you over the last year, you just made a Champions Tour comment. I've watched more Champions Tour events than PGA Tour. For the simple fact of I know a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
And it's cool to watch Freddie Couples or Rocco Mediate or these guys that we grew up with watching and idolizing still competing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Bernard Langer. This guy's a machine, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've watched more of that because of the names.
Mm-hmm.
PGA Tour, like at the Waste Management, I mean, how was it pretty crazy last week, or have you been there before?
I had been a couple of years ago, and then I was back this year. It's definitely, it is what it is. It's a party.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there for 2 days, and I think I maybe watched 2 shots of actual golf. It's just more of a socializing thing. So
you didn't drink, did you?
I actually don't know. I drink here and there, but out there, I went a little too hard last time, and it's a lot of walking in the hot sun. I played 100 holes in 6 days. I was trying to play as much golf as I could because I haven't seen a course since October here. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you just played golf.
I
That's
played
great.
my body's in shambles this week, but it was well worth it.
Well, did you have to take a cart or did
Oh
they
yeah.
make you walk?
No, I took a car every round, no walking. Yeah, it was sick. We got to play some night golf out there, which is awesome too. Need more of that on the East Coast, or any of that for that matter.
That would be awesome. I mean, just the vibe of that, you know. I mean, we've seen the par three courses lit up at night, but to actually play like probably real golf like they did
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago at Live.
Yeah, Liv did that whole tournament under the lights. That's sick.
Yeah, and
I
I
just
mean,
did the Sage Valley experience, and they have a par three lit up course, and it's open till 1 a.m. and it's 9 holes, and it was so much fun. You take a little bag with 4 clubs, go around, you play a 6 at 8 some, you're drinking,
Hmm.
you screaming, and it was a blast. And
Yeah.
next thing you look down, it's 1 o'clock and the lights turned off, and we're
Right.
like stuck in the middle of the par three course because we just kept playing it. But
Yeah.
you're exactly right. That's what they are missing.
Yep. Yeah. The place Grass Clippings, if you ever get out there in Scottsdale, Grass Clippings Rolling Hills, they have 18 holes. And during the day, I think it's a par 64. And then at night, they bring it down to all par threes. So you get 18 holes. The last tee time's 10:30. I think they're open till 1 a.m. Carts and everything. Everything's lit up. There's speakers all over the course. There's like a big bar outside. It's a vibe. The place is awesome. And I think they do some kind of league there where it's like a big stakes league. And I think that it starts in the summer, but that's one of the cool. I mean, there needs to be more of that. It's just tough, up here. It's like a little league field can't even get lights put on it, and
yeah.
like you think you're gonna. It's just like neighborhood associations and all that stuff. They just won't allow, and I don't know why.
Well, we lack too. I mean, you coming from Rhode Island, we're not too far south from you. I mean, winters suck, man. There's no two ways about it, you know? And the sad part is, even if I get away, we do go down to Florida a little bit in January, and we're headed to Pine Needles for the Invitational. But,
Nice,
you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, if you want to go play golf, you actually got to really try to carve out time to do it in the winter.
right?
Mhm.
And it sucks, man. I'm
Mhm.
tired of hitting balls in the net.
I
I
know.
do.
I,
It's
I
just,
I've never been a big indoor golf guy. It's just I feel like I just can't hit into those screens. I can't hit a driver off of one of those little tees, the white rubber tees. I just can't do it. I don't know why.
Dude,
that's a
I'm a
good one for you to
yeah.
make,
It
Sonny.
is. It is.
You
Or
can't.
or the other thing about like hitting into these screens when you're playing with your buddies, like I'm a pretty calm golfer. He will tell you I don't get upset on the golf course. I don't whatever. Dude, I want to snap my putter when I'm playing this virtual golf. It's like it's 15 feet to the screen. I got a 17 footer and I just hit it by 10 feet. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
I know my
impossible.
feel's not off
Putting
that bad.
is they'll never figure out the putting for those things. And the fact that I mean it takes the same amount of time to play in front of a screen as when you're outside. So it's like it's tough when you're in a little square with your buddies for 4 hours. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it gets a little repetitive in there when you don't have the nature aspect and the sun and everything.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. You're boxed in and you hit a shot and you go back, you trip over your buddy's club, trying to walk around and grab
Or
a drink.
clubs are in somebody else's
Yeah, and
bag and
like,
shit
where's
like that.
I know,
And it's
but
funny, growing up, I didn't really like. I never really thought when I was playing it younger. I never really thought, oh, if I lived somewhere where I could play 12 months, yeah, I'd be so much better. And then, you get into high school and you think you're good, and then you see the kids from the South and they're shooting mid 60s in their state tournaments, and I'm shooting like mid 70s, and I'm like, damn, I'm all right. So I'll just do this for fun then, I guess. But I used to like getting that break. Like, it kind of makes you really want it in March or April when the courses start opening
yeah,
again, and you play so hard in the summer when you can only play in the summer that you do get burnt out by November. But now I don't want the break anymore. I'm done with it. I need to
yeah,
Yeah.
you want it.
I just want it all the time. I want to be able to wake up and go play any day.
I will say that that golf league they're doing, what's it called, the golf league?
TGL.
TGL,
I mean, I've caught myself watching it a little bit. Maybe it's just to pass the time at night, and not have to watch basketball, which I love watching. But it's a really cool thing, especially how they have the green set up with the ball where it lands next to the green. Like that's really innovative. I mean, I don't know how it's doing, but it's
I don't think it's doing very well.
I don't think it's doing great, but there's something there. They just haven't figured it out yet. I think there is a place for some sort of team golf, and it's also pretty much the first sport of like augmented reality. It's one of the first
yeah,
sports where we're mixing technology with the actual game. So It's new. I was able to go to the first week and be there. I got to hit some balls into the screen and stuff, and it's
Really?
Did
yeah,
you?
the tech, I mean, tech wise, the place is amazing. So but I think they want to build one in all the cities, which would be cool because it's a small venue. It only seats 2,000 people, I think. So it's definitely made for more of a TV product. They actually use more cameras for their live show than the Super Bowl, like by double almost. So the production is massive for it. I think they have
Wow.
Shit.
78 cameras that they use at all times for the live shows.
For angles and stuff?
Angles, yep, they have like they have a robot that drives around for the shots around the green. It's impressive what they're doing product wise. I think they'll figure it out at some point. When you're at the stadium, they're not mic'd up, so you can't hear the players, which it makes the in person a little different because they don't want the other team to hear what the other team is talking about. So it was in there. It was kind of quiet. People were booing bad shots at first, and like it got loud. But I think people also didn't know that they could do that stuff. Like you're still kind of wondering in the crowd, are we supposed to be loud? Are we supposed to be quiet? Should we boo? Should we cheer? But again, I think it's just golf trying to figure out the team thing and give us a product that might be watchable, more watchable than a 4 or 5 hour round. And at some point they got to figure it out, right? I mean, there's got to be
Yeah.
something that is a better TV product than what they have.
Did you see the hot mic with them the other day? I think it was with Rory and someone. They were talking about the golf ball. Did you
Hmm.
see that?
Yep.
And
Yep.
he told him to stop talking. Did you see that, Bash?
No.
I think Rory was saying something about the golf ball that he was using, like it had more dimple. He said something along the lines of it has more dimples.
Hmm.
And Colin Morikawa was like, "Stop talking." And basically, they're saying what everyone's coming to the conclusion with is that they use a different golf ball than we all do.
Right. I think probably for the I don't know if that's just in there for the screen or if that's well, I guess they do use a different golf ball. I've had a golf ball conspiracy theory for quite a while now that golf ball companies are beefing up the golf ball to make drivers look longer because I think drivers can't get any longer with the technology. Like I just feel like they're maxed out. But I feel like if the ball company every year is like, yeah, we can add a couple yards to make the drivers look like they're doing a little bit better.
Well, I think that's
I
the
want
thing
that
that they have
ball,
to
man.
scale back. They got to scale this golf ball back because it is insane. I mean, no, Bryson, of course, is so talented, and we get that. But at that U.S. Open, he literally was hitting it
Hmm.
everywhere on Sunday,
Yeah,
and it just did not matter because he is so long
just
with
gets
this
by
that it's
all the
getting
trouble.
exactly like 16 at number two. It's a dog leg left. You cannot hit that left at all, and he went by and rolled through all the stuff, and he was perfect.
Yeah.
And it's like, man,
And I don't know if you guys have played with kids lately, but the young guns, they hit the ball far. It's like kids are learning first to hit it far and then finding the rest of their game. Whereas when I was learning, it was like, learn the swing, the fundamentals, and then try to find the speed. But now kids are 5, 6 years old. They're like, swing as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And then,
we did an event with WVU golf team at
That's what I was
Nemacolin,
just gonna say.
and we sat on a par three, 17 at Mystic Rock, 185 into the wind, water on your left, so playing 200. These kids are hitting 7 irons and 8 irons,
crazy.
and it's just
Legitimate.
like going through the wind. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Bash, this is probably like a knockdown five for me."
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Like,
they're not big either. I'm not talking big kids. These are little kids hitting the ball a long way. It's fun to watch.
waist 30, and I'm like, you soaking wet, 150 pounds, and he's just ripping seven
Right?
iron, 200 into the wind. I'm like,
So far away from man strength, not even close to it yet, and still hitting it that far. They're so fast, it's crazy.
I don't. I. It is. It's almost unbelievable because I love to work out. I think I'm pretty strong for my size. I am. I'll admit it. But I can't swing the golf club 110 miles an hour with my
Hmm.
driver. And
Yeah,
and that's slow compared to some people. You got guys swinging at 126, 125. It's like,
yeah,
how do you do that?
and those
It's
long
insane.
drive guys too. Those guys are swinging 150 almost.
we have a guy local here, Justin Moose, which great name for a
Great
long
name.
drive
Yeah,
guy. And I mean, dude, he's hitting 420, 430, and it's like, what in the hell?
I don't know
I
how
mean,
they do it.
he hits a pitching wedge 180.
It's
It's like,
almost
what?
like how do you even play a golf course with that
Right?
length?
How's it
How do
fun
you hit
though?
100-yard shot? It's like a chip.
Like a 500-yard par four, and you're hitting driver pitching wedge, or sand wedge, flip wedge.
I think those guys can't putt because the tour would look a lot different.
So
Just
go ahead, bud.
nah, my comment. I was just gonna say. I mean, legitimately, Justin. I mean, where did he go to high school? Big dude
Norwin.
though. I think he played it. Did he play at Clarion?
Played at Clarion.
Yeah, but yeah, he just absolutely.
He's built like a linebacker though, so that kind of helps. I will say the one video that you did, and I've literally thought about it every time I do it, and it's hysterical because I do it so much. Is the tight lip nod? I do it. I mean, I literally do. I did it 3 times this morning walking in here.
It
People
was
you don't even want to
almost
say.
it was almost a curse on myself to do that video because now I can't even do it or look. And every time I walk by somebody and they do it, I'm like, I wonder if they've seen the video. Like, I wonder if that person was doing it because they know who I am. So it's because really, dude, it's all day when you're walking around
All day.
as a human, not just a golfer or like as a human. When you see that's how you are pleasantly saying, I don't want to talk to you, but hey, you
Yeah.
know, and it's
Yeah, you're acknowledging their existence.
yeah, existence
That's it.
exactly.
That's
And
it.
It is so funny. I mean, again, so many of your videos, the buddies that want to play golf but they never make a tee time, that's everything's on point. So how do you do these? How many takes does a video take for you to get to your end product, or how long?
so really, I would say start to finish is probably 20 minutes. Literally, in my notes, I just have my first lines written. I have a note of probably 200 ideas. That's just like, or I think I'm an ex-baseball player. Say it was last night's, or I'm a baseball. So in my notes, it'll just say, I'm a baseball player turned golfer. I'll put on the camera. I'll sit in front of my wall, and I'll just say, "Hi, my name's Sonny, and I'm a baseball player turned golfer." And then I'll just freestyle for probably like 2.5 minutes, and then at the end, I'll do the little head gestures and stuff of all the B-roll and the black and whites. And then, so the video is probably 3.5 minutes when I finish it, and then I just cut it down into like a minute 15-ish. So that edit usually takes me about 20 minutes. So start to finish, 20 to 30 minutes.
But you got to add those because that specific one you're speaking of, was that a real picture of you as a youth?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So you
So
throw that in,
Yep.
I like that. See, that's good stuff, man.
Thank you. And I'm not like a lot of these people like Saint Andre, for instance, or like Nick from Bev Boys, if you've seen him, they're like their acting skills are really good. I like my writing skills more than my acting skills, or even just my knowledge of golf kind of gives me an edge. But I use the cinematic part to my advantage. Nobody really does like cinematic stuff. So I use the song and I use the black and whites. That's what makes my videos and the relatability, obviously. But I don't work off of like gestures or acting skills. It's more of like how can I just put together a really funny 1 minute video?
How do you? So is part of your shtick like to look serious, like you're
Yeah.
almost?
Yeah,
It's
just like
hilarious. I mean,
almost yeah, I want when you watch that first line, I don't want you to know that I'm about to
funny.
say what I'm gonna say. I want it to sound like it's gonna be something serious. And then it ends up just being something golfy.
Sonny.
I think I don't think that, and I don't know because I don't follow like other people that do stuff with other sports, but I just think this goes hand in hand with golf. Like I don't know if someone could be like doing football videos or something or basketball videos. They'd have to be real videos, like action shots of them. Because like normal people don't get to experience those sports like we all can experience golf. The same way we experience golf is the same way McElroy might experience golf. Like, it's a different game, and it opens up so many avenues, and it's relatable to golfers.
Right.
Yeah. And in some cases, non-golfers too. But
Yeah, and I think it's funny. Everybody has a different relationship with golf, which is really cool, I think. And it's from so many angles, not just the golfer, but also like the wives, Like the wives have their own relationship with golf. And if you can touch on that a little bit, then that's funny. Or like the kids who play golf with their fathers, they have a relationship with golf that some might not have who've learned on their own. So if you can hit a little bit of all those people, you get a little bit of everybody.
the wife thing is hysterical in itself because I just feel like everything's so exaggerated. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
Leave
definitely.
to go. You go golf. You have an 8 a.m. tee time. You get back at 1 o'clock. Now somehow I've been gone all day.
Mhm.
I'm not saying me specifically, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying
No,
like
of
I mean,
course.
it's like you've been gone all day.
well,
You're like-
you're taking 30 golf trips a year, but
I think my first video actually with the green wall was I'm starting a petition to shorten golf rounds to 7 hours. That was my first video with the green wall, and it kind of took off, and I was like, maybe I'll stick with this green wall for a little bit.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hysterical.
Thank you.
So, I mean, an idea for you with the cigar thing. Hi, my name's Sonny. I got this buddy. He's worried more about a cigar on the round of golf, which I do worry more about my cigar in the round of golf than I do what's going on, where I'm placing it.
Hmm.
Somebody steps on it. Sonny stepped on my cigar again. Now it's ruined. Now I got to cut another one, light another one. So I think the cigar thing might be something for you.
I think there's an angle there for sure. Now, do you use anything to hold your cigars on the ground or anything, or you just throw
No,
them?
I'll probably have like half
He
my
loves
mouth
chemicals.
left when I'm 60 years old. But no, I do not. Our buddy Neil Walker, he bought me one. You put it on the cigar and it's magnetic to the cart.
Yep.
So I
Yeah, the
might
clip
start
or
using that.
whatever. Yeah, a
Yes.
guy I play with smokes cigars with my partner usually, and that's what he uses, the clip with the magnet. And then I also played with the guy who owns Stogies and Bogies, which is like the golf ball that has a little pin in it, and it's got a tee on the bottom, and you put it in the ground, and you just put
Oh, that's
your
cool.
thing into the
That's
tee.
pretty
Yeah,
dope.
That's just so much effort for me.
I know, I agree. Because I
Yeah,
played with
just
them, and I was smoking a cigar, and I was like, I'm just gonna put it on the ground.
No, I'm just
Sorry,
gonna
man.
throw it on the ground or in the cart and melt. Some portion of the cart's gonna be
Right.
melted.
I'm gonna try to put the cherry over the edge, but it's hit the
Yeah,
rubber.
you
yeah.
know, two things on that. Number one, I feel like anyone who's smoking a cigar on a golf course when they're teeing off, they just fucking drop it right there. And what happens is people were looking around, looking at the birds, watching drive, and then the yelling comes. Watch my cigar.
Mhm.
Well, bud, leave it on the cart. Like, you don't need to walk to the tee box with it. But the second thing that I was gonna say, which actually is funny, it's actually really funny to me because he is a cigar connoisseur, like no joke. He knows his cigars and is an addict without a doubt. But
Couple addictions.
We
we
all
were
have our
at
vices.
he carries around this briefcase. It looks like a safe that you would like keep money in, but it has all his cigars and his cutters, and he's got this nice Cuban cigar in there. And we're at a birthday party sitting around, and his his cigar holder sitting up by the TV, and this guy walks into the cabana, and he's all, yeah, Brandon told me to go grab a cigar out of his case. Well, the problem is the guy didn't realize that the case was actually Pep's case. So he opens his case up, and Pep hits me. He goes like, he's in my box. What's he doing? And I said, why don't you say something? He's like, and so he grabs the Cuban,
No.
Yeah,
and he
just
walks
lights
out.
it.
It's cold. It's 25 degrees. He goes and sits by the hot tub and lights his cigar. I was
I'm
dead.
like, I was just owned.
Did you tell him it was like? Did you tell him what it was at least?
I didn't say a word, boys.
He didn't say a word, which I'm like, why wouldn't you tell him that?
We just talked about it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's. I wouldn't say anything either, but man, that's tough. I can imagine for you, it'd be like some. I mean, I actually have been a nicotine fiend my whole life, mostly since I was
Here
18.
we
But
go.
I just quit vaping 3 weeks ago,
Oh,
and
good.
I have been using like a Zyn alternative for
Here we
now.
go.
Because I think I might actually be able to get off this one. The other things were so hard. I mean, I loved cigs with all my heart. There's nothing better than a cig. Like if I had a pack of cigs, everything was gonna be okay. And then I think like 4 years ago, I switched to the vape, and then finally I was like, I gotta quit this vape thing. I'm waking up in the middle of the night and grabbing it, and like I'm sleeping with it in my hand. Like it's bad. So I actually went like 2 weeks with nothing, and then I was at a golf tournament. They were giving out this company called On. It's like Zins,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I'll grab a thing or two. And so since then,
Too.
I've been just like out of the lip, right back in. It's been bad, but we'll get over it.
So I love Zins, and I had no reason really to love them. I mean, I wasn't vaping or anything, but so I do. But I found these Zins online from Snus Daddy, and they're
Okay.
actually from Denmark. They're like the European style of Zins, but they don't sell this in America, and that's called lemon spritz.
Ooh.
Uh, a lot softer on the lip,
Mm-hmm.
more flavorful. Doesn't have the punch. I'm used to the sixes,
Mm-hmm.
so I know a lot of people when they see
What do you
six,
got over there?
they get scared. Huh?
Yeah.
I feel like a Rolodex of Zins over there.
Well, I got them sitting here on my desk, but leave
The
me
ones, the
alone.
reason I like these ones, and I'm sure I will upgrade, but they're actually like really small.
Yeah,
It's like a mini guy,
yeah.
so you
It's
can't
like a little
even tell
chicklet.
that it's in there. And it's not, and I know I'll be at sixes or eights in no time. It'll be
Yeah,
like there's some companies that make four. I think one of the guys from Good just started his own company. It's called Nuke, I think.
really.
Yeah, those guys, and they make fours and eights. So they sent me some, so I'll give those a try. I tried one yesterday and immediately felt like quadrupled the size in my lip, and I was like, God, this is gonna
And you
fuck me up
passed
a little
out.
bit.
Yeah, that's the only problem because I go upper deck with
Mm-hmm.
the zinnies. And
Yep.
sometimes, like, especially when I'm jovial, extra jovial, and I'm talking, I'm laughing, the zins like just start hanging off my
Right.
teeth. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And then I look at pictures and I have this freaking white thing hanging out of my mouth. And no one tells me though. That's the
Right.
thing. No one's like, hey, Pido, how about you fix your appearance right now?
Yeah. These ones are easy to hide, which I like.
Yeah. So Penguin
Original Penguin.
Yeah, the
and
original
Cam
Penguin.
Smith, have you ever got to meet Cam Smith maybe with the Penguin?
I'd have, yes, twice actually
Really?
at the
There you go.
three before officially Sonny took off group chat golf. We got media passes to live the first year. It was the first time the PGA Tour. I had been applying for media credentials forever. They have kept denying me, which I don't blame them. I make like my memes were pretty edgy on group chat golf. A lot of like stuff that brands wouldn't really like, and I've cleaned it up since because I realize you kind of have to be if you want to work with real brands.
Like, what was edgy about it?
Just like even just like talking about smoking weed or like doing coke on a men's golf trip and like all that stuff that like the PGA Tour or for instance like Adidas wouldn't want to work with. So cleaned it up. But Liv was nice enough to give us media credentials that year, so we went to 4 events in the first year. We got Cam Smith was actually the first player we asked a question at like the media day thing, and we got to meet him out on the course during the pro am, and then after the men's championship in Miami the first year, we were up on the roof with him like and his family basically. So Liv is like super laid back like that, and at the time the pro ams were only media and family, so the first round was just you basically walking around the golf course. The ropes didn't even exist; you could just walk with whoever you wanted. So and they did a pretty cool job of giving us access to that. So I was able to meet him a couple times. Good guy, super laid back. And I will say, the guys on the Live Tour, they do have fun. The vibe being at those things completely different than being at a PGA Tour event. Like you can talk to a guy while he's in the middle of a round at Live, whereas on the PGA Tour, they just look straightforward and are playing their game. So
I mean, he seems like a bloke you want to have a beer with, or
oh,
would have a beer with
absolutely,
you.
100%.
So, um, I'll tell you real quick back to the video idea. I'm sure you've experienced this in a foursome, and it's hysterical. I literally laugh at it every time it happens because it happens 4 times in a round. When you're in a par three, you get up there, 175. Would you shoot 175?
Hmm.
Hey man, what number did you get? 170. Everybody in the group asks you. You literally have said it 5 times now.
Is that slope?
Is
Yeah.
that slope or not slope?
Not trusting someone and walking up with your own after like
Yeah.
yeah, I
Then
have
you
a
take your
Guilty.
own up, and you're like, yeah, 175.
yeah, I definitely have some rounds. We have some rounds that are on video where it's on some tee boxes. You just hear that said 15 times before everybody tees off. That's very relatable because you're only listening when you want to listen. If someone's just talking, you're looking at the hole, you're thinking about what club you might hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally it's your turn to wonder what the distance is, and somebody's already said it 5 times, and you're like, well, one more, please.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It does kind of get. You're like, I'm the guy though that does take my own gun up,
Yeah.
just because I don't. I just need to know. I just need
I'm
to know.
usually the first guy to get out of the car and run to the tee box and get the number for everybody. That's another
Yeah.
thing that used to get on my nerves too. Like if you've played a golf course before and the other person you're playing with hasn't, and they're always like, "How far is this one?" And you're like, "I don't fucking know. I've played here like 3 times." My dad does that to me. No matter where we play, no matter if I've played there or not, on every tee. He's like, "What does this hole do?" I'm like, This is both of our first times here in this state, so I don't know what you're asking me."
Shit, I was playing in a qualifier once, and I never played the golf course in my life, and I can't believe I'm admitting this, but I actually was. It was like my third time trying to qualify for this event. And so I drove to the eastern part of the state, but I didn't know what the hell the course was. So I went on Google Earth and I just looked at every freaking hole, and then, well, the problem was I started on a back nine. So I was all fucked up because all I kept thinking about was hole one, hole this, hole whatever. And then I get there and I'm teeing off on 10 and I'm like, you big dummy. Didn't really help.
He
The
tried
greens
to
were
do his
awful.
research,
I
but
did. But in the golf carts with the GPS systems, I mean, I don't know if those are great or if they're just a huge pain in the ass, especially whenever the cart starts beeping and you get stuck in that zone. You got to go in reverse.
God.
reverse, dude, it's so embarrassing. It's like you're the center of attention with your thing beeping, going 1 mile an hour reverse. Like,
And then you're yelling at yourself. I'm fucking going in the right direction. Just let me go.
I said that the other day in the airport. I was coming back from Miami and I heard this beeping, you know, and typically you'll see golf carts rolling through the airport. So I'm standing there waiting to board and I hear this like soft beeping. And I look to my right and it's this motorized wheelchair with this old lady on it. And it had like neon lights flashing and it's just beeping. And she's just rolling through the airport. No one's pushing her. It was a motorized, like, it looked like R2D2 with her sitting on it. She's rolling through and it's going beep, beep, beep. Like, what the fuck? That was kind of funny, though. I mean, she was by herself.
Right.
It's hard to imagine. But, yeah, man. Good stuff. But at any rate, Sonny.
I feel like we could do this all day.
Yeah,
Right?
I know. It's always good to meet people like you, man.
yeah.
And in all honesty, you're doing something that's great and you're good at it. So
Appreciate
keep
you
it up.
guys.
We enjoy watching it, and so does the world. But before we end our episode here on Chasing Birdies, we're going to finish with our tap-in segment presented by Bettinardi Golf. Check them out online at bettinardi.com. Pep's going to ask you 4 or 5 questions that demand your quick response.
All right.
Who would you like to collaborate with on a video?
Bob does sports. He's the most entertaining guy, I think, on the internet. So that's kind of an easy one. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm going to vent a little bit about
Yeah,
him.
please.
Got introduced to him from John Barry, who plays in our event every year, and just put us in a group text. And we've been texting this about a year. Yeah, come on. We'll be on. And I'm not trying to bother you, right? But like, hey, but you said you're going to come on. Like, I'll check in 2 weeks later. We're still here, not on with him. So
Mm-hmm. Oh man, all right, maybe
I know
I'll
he's a
cross
tough.
him off. Fat Perez.
He is so
Because I
funny.
have met. We've been following each other for a while, and we just met at the Waste Management. And he was like, "Oh, dude, love your content." And anytime you see somebody and they're like somebody big and
They
they know
know.
who you are, it feels pretty good. So,
That's awesome.
and he's a good player, so I'd actually like to take him one on one. That'd be fun.
That's what I'd like to do, too. I like to play some of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Dream
maybe here's a
foursome,
threesome
dead
here.
or alive.
Shaquille O'Neal is probably like my number one dinner guest. Like, I think that guy's amazing. I got to put Bill Belichick in there. I just really want to spend some time with that guy. And Tiger Woods. Obviously, I've been golfing since 2002. So
Right in the prime.
that's the guy. Yeah.
Hardest thing about social media.
Staying consistent. Sometimes you go through a lot of flops before the good ones to hit, especially when we're starting off. The first 6 months, it's like you're putting out content to nobody, and to make it through that is really tough. But when it's worth it when you do.
Last one. What are you chasing?
Freedom. I just want to be able to do whatever I want, and I'm passionate about golf, so I kind of if I could have freedom and to do this for a living, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
I'm already lucky enough to be where I am, so definitely just I want to wake up every day and say, what am I going to do today? Play golf.
That's awesome.
That's what they say. Freedom buys you happiness.
Amen.
Well, man, it was awesome having you on here, Sonny.
Appreciate you guys.
And yeah, man, we'll keep in touch, and maybe at some point when the weather breaks, we can get you down here and
I would
pay
love
it
to.
up, man.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome.
definitely.
All right, boys.
Hi, my name's Sonny from Group Chat Golf, and you're listening to Chasing Birdies with the Boys.